I am Jeff Judd, the independent candidate for the State House of Representatives, District 42, and I am the candidate for the people.
Our next speaker is just an average working guy pursuing the American dream, which I believe is something everyone here is striving for. He is a factory worker, a husband, and a father who feels very strongly that it is his duty to stand up and protect this great nation that has given him unlimited opportunities. He is also another one of our speakers today that calls Cookeville home. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Jeffery Judd a powerful hometown greeting.
Thank you, Jordan. Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find a greater group of patriots in the area right now. I think we've got them all here. Well, my name is Jeff Judd. Most of you don't know me, and that's fine. I understand. But a lot of people in Washington think they do. Matter of fact, they say I'm dangerous. I'm a radical. Well, coming from these people, I'll take the compliment. It's great. I think it puts me in the company of our other great radicals. People like Washington, Jefferson, Franklin. The titles I hold are only that I'm a patriot and citizen of the great state of Tennessee and an American. I came here today to speak out against an out-of-control federal government. And I want to make clear right off the bat, I wasn't told what I could or couldn't say here today by any political party. What I have to say here today, I learned from reading the documents that our founding fathers left to us as an owner's manual of our nation, and what should be common sense to all Americans. But common sense is the missing element these days. We gather here as we did on tax day, as we the people, to proclaim our outrage on a wide range of issues that we all believe are bringing our country down a very dark path. And to keep an eye on a federal government we were warned to keep an eye on by the writers of our Constitution. I have a quote I'd like to share with everybody. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it before from Ronald Reagan, but I think we should be shouting it from every mountaintop in the hopes that our fellow Americans will wake up. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We did not pass it to our children in their bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like in the United States of America where men were free. I'd like to talk about two things that I believe are at the heart of our nation's problems right now. First, states' rights, and the disconnection of we the people from the elected citizens we send to be our voices in Washington and our state's capitals. If you walk onto the streets of Baghdad and ask a young soldier where he's from, I'm sure he won't reply America. He'll say, I'm from Ohio, Kentucky, I'm a Texan, and if he's truly blessed, I'm a Tennessean. So why is it we break ourselves down into 50 individual groups of the same people? It's real simple. We are and always have been the United States of America, not the federally controlled America. To know this is fact, just look to your 10th Amendment. Because we are quickly losing our uniqueness as individual states, and some of our elected can't move this quickly enough for themselves. We need to start sending men and women to protect our states from federal encroachment. Some are not doing their jobs, and they choose to become cogs in the federal machine. Now, I'm not saying everybody we send to Washington and our state capital are bad people. What I'm saying is we need to stop sending career politicians with predisposed agendas that have much to gain by voting themselves raises and staying in Washington. And we need to start voting people in that are true statesmen, people that will get down in the mud and fight for our individual states, even if it makes them unpopular in Washington. Some of our citizens that have become elected, on the left especially, are trying to write new laws, unneeded laws, and blocking our ability to enforce the ones we have, like immigration. We have a hard enough time finding jobs as American citizens without having to compete with illegal aliens. And I would like to know why this isn't being enforced by our federal government. That is one of their jobs, to protect our borders and secure our country. Instead, they choose to focus on college organizational issues and steroids in sports, which is none of their business in the first place. We should be focusing on national security and other issues that are going to erode our nation's effectiveness to defend itself over time.
Yes, we do.
President Obama is playing a dangerous game with our national security. And our enemies won't pass up the opportunity to strike out at us. And when they do, hundreds and thousands of Americans could lose their lives. Is our federal government's memory so short as to forget our lessons learned on 9/11?
9/11, yes.
And this is not acceptable behavior of the people in charge of our national security. We have become so accustomed to our elected telling us half-truths, little lies, and complete BS that we've learned to look the other way. But we need to start holding their feet to the fire and punishing them for bad behavior. But let's not let them go all the way. Cheer them on when they do our will. And at times, give them direction because they do need it.
When are they doing our will?
One thing we need to stop, and you can spread it far and wide to your friends and neighbors, is we need to stop the vote and walk away mentality. Somebody needs to hold their feet to the fire, and that job belongs to us, we the people.
Yes.
Take the time to read your Constitution, its Bill of Rights, and its amendments. And don't believe everything you hear to be true. See it with your own eyes. This document I carry around in my back pocket, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, it belongs to us, not the government.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, use it or lose it, because they want to slice and dice this and take it away from us.
Yes,
And we see it picking up steam here lately. Knowledge is the best weapon on the battlefield. I'm sure Major Evans will give a hoorah for that. But keep in mind, we are in a fight for our liberties and the freedom of children not yet even born.
Yes.
And we need to be very vigilant and watchful of the federal government and take every step we can to make sure the men and women we send in 2010 to speak for us are true statesmen that believe as we do that we, the people of the several states of the United States of America, can govern ourselves. It is our constitutional right. Get to know your elected citizens. Write them and call them. Bug them. And if they don't make themselves accessible to you, the next election comes along, fire them. And help find somebody to run against them in that election. A true statesman. The points I've been trying to drive home are that we don't need people concerned with careers in politics. Instead, we need people that care about the direction of our nation. There's never been one like it, and when it vanishes, there will never be another. We are a unique people that the world respects as much as they like to complain about us.
Yeah, right, we do.
The people we elect don't need to have law degrees, they don't need to have doctrines, and they don't need to be wealthy. These don't necessarily make good public servants. The only requirement should be honesty and eagerness to do the will of we the people. Those concerned with careers and politics have polluted our air with the stink of lies and dishonesty, and we're fed up. Am I right?
Yes.
Take a look at our Congress. They're not doing the will of the people. Instead, they're bowing down at the federal altar and sacrificing our liberties, allowing a big government to gain more power within our individual states as they ignore the 10th Amendment and attempt to trample the other 9. We need to do our duty as citizens of Tennessee and Americans and use our First Amendment. Whenever you get the chance, join, just like we do here, and let them know. Make your voice loud enough that they'll hear it all the way to the White House. Look around you. You see your neighbors, co-workers, friends, but some of them go by another title, veteran. Whether they served in World War II, Vietnam, Korea, the Gulf War, Afghanistan, or Iraq, they all did what we asked of them. They took up their weapons and lifted up that flag and charged into any battle we gave them without question.
Yes.
And some of them never came back.
Right.
And we owe it to them to do our part.
Exactly.
Be informed. Vote with the words of the Constitution in your heart, and send true statesmen to our capitals and to Washington, D.C. to protect our states.
Yes.
We're in a fight to save our nation, protect our Constitution, and preserve our liberties for future generations. Americans didn't give up at Bunker Hill. They didn't run away from the horrors on the beach of Normandy. Today, they stand in many foreign lands in the name of freedom. So we will keep pushing forward here in the United States. We will not give an inch. And to borrow just a few more words from the great Ronald Reagan, they are counting on Americans to be passive.
Yes.
And they are counting wrong. Thank you very much.